Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast in association with True Hall of Fame Bills. I'm your host, Michael May, and today we had to have an emergency man talk, y'all. I could not let this wait till Monday. Y'all already know. If y'all new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Fellas, today I'm taking out all the guesswork. Yo, shout out to Solo. I'm taking out all the guesswork. Rodriguez, what up? You need to hear this. People, fellas especially. Do you guys remember I've been saying this for the longest time about how women lost their power? Women chose to remove themselves from being the prize. I don't think that women really understood what I was saying, but they will now. They will now. Listen, y'all, this is probably the most calmest interview I've ever seen. Listen. With the information that you're going to hear in this interview, this information is so disturbing. I was shocked that when I actually seen the full interview, but I'm going to use the Manosphere Highlight Daily. Shout out to them. This man's doing great work. But when I was listening to these women talk, I was like, why isn't this video going viral? It's not going viral because you have a woman speaking about women, and women don't like that. Fellas, this is probably gonna single-handedly, if you ever question anything I say from any man talk from here on out, maybe you should look at yourself. Maybe you're dealing with your own insecurities, and maybe it's not me. Maybe you got to deal with yourself. But I want to dive right into this, man. Shout out to Manosphere Highlight Daily. Salute to them. Listen to this, y'all.
We're highlighting some serious red flags and hard truths from ex-feminist Darlene Lev in an interview.
So this woman is an ex-feminist, Darlene Lev, right? She's been very popularized. She's been in many magazines her entire life, but let's keep going.
With the Radical Center. It's a full hour of grown woman reflection. And trust me, there's food for thought. Links in the description if you want to see the whole thing. We're going to pull out a few key moments from the interview that men need to know, not just for awareness, but for survival. Let's set the tone.
Hello, today I'm speaking with Darlene Lev. And Darlene, you're a writer who reached out to me recently after listening to a couple of conversations that we've had on this channel. I think for specifically some of the solid ground conversations. And if you don't mind, I'll just read real quickly the paragraph.
Now, before she reads that, so the conversations that they've been having is because the manosphere, like what people like Coach Greg, the Angry Man, Fresh and Fit, myself, the Kevin Samuels, what we've been saying has been hitting home to a lot of women. Now, listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. This is biblical. People, I know y'all may not like me to refer back to the Bible, but I want you to understand, this is biblical. Women are where are the female teachers that are going to teach the younger women about the mistakes that they've made now that they're older? We need more women like this to come out and speak. What's going on, Joe? Oh, Jose, what's up? I need you to understand, y'all, this is going to be a crazy, I'm not going to keep you long because this lady's going to break this down. Listen.
That you sent me, because I think it really sets up an interesting discussion. So you said, I was so taken by our childless women ruining the world that I plan to incorporate the dialogue into a chapter/essay for the book you're working on. I heard a lot of the cause of the problem put on men. I agree and have experienced this, but would like to explore how feminism destroyed the courtship that much more directly led to marriage and family formation.
Listen, fellas, this is why fellas, you're not listening. This is why I tell you, how dare you let a woman over the age of 25, and I'm gonna have to lower that, because a lot of these young chicks, they out here sleeping with everybody, and a lot of these young chicks, they don't deserve courtship. But listen to me, fellas, how do you let a woman over the age of 25 tell you she wants to be courted when she just said feminism killed courtship? Fellas, I'm gonna say this again. Women were tricked out of their power. Women were tricked out of their position of power. Fellas, women, what she's saying is this: feminism killed courtship. Courtship is for women who are considered the prize. So she just admitted that feminism killed women being the prize. Fellas, you have to learn how to understand what somebody's... Let's keep going.
Born in 1961, I experienced firsthand the revolution from moms at home to moms at work, from courting commitment to courting instability. I've toyed with writing a memoir called My Dumb Feminist Life, which would examine the choices I made in fealty to feminist narratives and how self-sabotaging so much of it was.
So Darlene is pulling back the curtain on a reality that completely contradicts the victimhood narrative modern women love to use to justify why they're single, childless, and bitter at brunch.
Well, one of the things that's
Fellas, there is no woman, listen, I'm gonna be very specific. There is no woman walking around on earth like, I'm so happy to be single and I'm so happy to be by myself. Like, I want to be like this. Fellas, that feeling lasts for a very short time. If she's still 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years and she's still saying that, now she's coping. That's called a coping mechanism. Ready? Hear me. Watch this, fellas. Have y'all ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen a really, really, really overweight woman? Like, men just don't like a good... This is what a real woman looks like. Like, a real man likes curves. A real... Mamita, you don't have curves. You have like a whole 42nd Street corner. Like, your whole body is developed crazy. But hear me. Oh, a real man is gonna love a big woman. Well, oh, I'm big boned. Fellas, these are all coping mechanisms. He said God created us to want to get married. This is the problem. This is the problem. People don't understand structure. And this lady's about to go in. I promise you I won't keep you long today, but this is an emergency session.
Struck me about that particular conversation was, it resonates because I wound up childless myself and it wasn't necessarily intentional, but I also noticed...
She's childless.
You're all a little younger than I am, right? When I was struck by how the dialogue was, I couldn't find a good man. I couldn't find a man who would commit, and this is how I wound up like this.
This is where it gets good. Darlene holds feminism and women themselves accountable for the chaos we're seeing today. Finally, somebody said it, so now let's get into how she used the fall for the feminist lie. And
now, I can't find a good man. I can't find fellas, Are you aware that most women are like serial? You know how like women are like voluntary victims. Everything is somebody else's fault. Never to their own, never to what they did to themselves. Everything is, well, there's no good man because society, and there's no good man because these strippers, and there ain't no good man because these girls be it's never because maybe I'm not what the men want. It's never that. It's very rare that you're gonna find a woman that's gonna conduct herself like that. But let's keep going. Let's listen to what she got to say.
What changed? Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many, we...
Pay attention, y'all.
We many, we...
This April at Renewal by Andersen, replace your windows, your patio doors, or your...
But I was thinking, I know what happened because I lived through that change. And it's sort of like, if you look at the French Revolution, the people who were coming of age right as the Reign of Terror starts would know something more than the people who are living in the aftermath and grappling with that. So my trajectory, my coming of age completely coincides with the sexual revolution when things...
Now, this is the part that most men and women don't understand. We are just living in the aftermath, y'all. This didn't just happen, people. When Kevin Samuels used to say, you watching, we got 11 in here, your mom, yeah, your mom was a scotra. Yeah, your mom was in these streets. Your mom was running around in these streets. Your mom was out here. Your mom was out here tossing it up for a real one. Yeah, you got emotional, you got sensitive. So what? Who cares? Listen to me. This is she's explaining to you what we're dealing with is the aftermath. If an explosion happens, look at a hurricane. A hurricane comes through, boom, takes away the whole town. Now, if you're still there, you got to deal with picking the pieces back up. This is where we're at because we still living in a time where women think that being promiscuous is cool. And it's actually dying off because now you see more and more women. People, are you watching all of the women crashing out on the internet? My promiscuous past, nobody wants to deal with me, and this and that, and this and that, and this. And I'm like, but why don't you tell the young girls, stop doing it? Stop doing it, young lady. Stop. But they can't do that. Fellas, listen to me. I've done some dumb things in my life. I've done some stupid things in my life in the street. Some things that I didn't have to do. But if I see another young man making the same dumbass mistakes, I'm gonna be like, yo, my boy, come here. I did that. I know what you're about to do. I've been there. Don't do it. But you see, women will see women on the ledge and they won't say anything. You want to know why? Because it's like, well, I'm alone, so you might as well be alone too. Fellas, listen to me. When men look at men, we see ourselves in younger men. When older women look at younger women, they see themselves as younger women. They're in competition with young women. Versus teaching them, they rather let them fail and be like, well, welcome to our world. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But let's keep listening.
Really changed. And I like to say, and I have said to my students probably at my own risk that TV in the 60s was very family oriented, very much about being a good civic citizen. The morals were all, I would say, fairly universal, how to be a good person, how to handle the town bully, Mayberry RFD, family. And then we start getting into the relaxing the codes, and now there's murder and single police women, you know, Charlie's Angels, which was a huge influence on me.
Right.
And it just completely changed.
Pay attention. You want to know what I grew up on watching, y'all? Full House, Family Matters, The Cosby Show. What else? Married with Children. What else? What are some shows that I grew up? I mean, obviously, aside from the other kids, ones like the Power Rangers and all that stuff, Superhuman Samurai and Captain Planet, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. See, I grew up where the TV shows were what she's saying, but I'm also old enough to be able to see the transition to the Sex in the City, to How to Get Away with Murder, to what's this, New Jersey Shore. I watched the transition happen. Let's keep going.
See, this is why we go hard on media here.
Yep.
Movies, TV shows, Netflix, it's all programming. Literally, you keep feeding women images of the boss babe who don't need no man. What do you expect? It becomes part of their wiring. And then we wonder why relationships are collapsing left and right.
Yep. Pay attention. If you notice, if there's a good, let's say like there's a healthy TV show or a healthy artist, right? A woman saying things that are positive and things they won't push her. But let a chick say, I don't cook, I don't clean, let me show you how I got that ring. They're gonna push that on the radio. They're gonna push it and push it. You wanna know why? Because the agenda is to keep furthering the destruction of women. But here's the thing. I'm gonna do another video on Monday morning. Y'all better get ready, because Monday morning is gonna be, I'm gonna bring all of this together. People, I want you to understand, this is biblical. All of this is to control. Listen, y'all think that I'm playing. People, it's called divide and conquer. People, if you destroy women, listen, because it's gonna be very hard to destroy men. You want to know why? Because if you notice, what have men done? And she's gonna say it. The passport bros, men going their own way, all of this, men pulling out of men getting women from other countries to marry them. People, all of this is a reaction. It's a reaction. And because men, we don't give a fuck about rules. We create our own rules. Oh, so you think that you're gonna, okay, so I'll go to another country. Oh, so I could, fellas, we are designed to follow the structure of God. But when it comes to society, now I'm speaking in the natural. When the society changes the rules on us, we say, fuck you. We make up our own rules. We're not doing what you tell us to do. We're going to do what we... So they have to destroy the woman. Why? Because if you destroy the woman, you control the money. I'm going to say this again. Fellas, if you destroy the woman, you control the money. I'm going to say this one more time. If you destroy the woman, you control the money. Why? Pay attention. Fellas, every man out here, every man, even with your kids, even if you have kids and your kids come to visit you, watch this scenario. You have 2-3 cars, you live in a high-rise apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, pretty spacious, nice living room, nice view over the whole city. That sounds good, right? Boom. Fellas, you know why we purchase houses? For the women. Oh, I need my kitchen. The kids got to run around. They need the backyard. They need grass. We don't need grass. That's what we go out for. We're going to go take trips. We're going to go to the gym. We're going outside. Like, but I want the kids to have the grass. I want to have like drapes hanging right here. We don't need none of this shit. Fellas, give us a big screen TV, some nice couches, a huge bed, and we good. We good. We good. And give us our money. Give us our way to make money, and we good. People, I want you to understand, this is not difficult to understand. Fellas, I keep telling y'all, the saying goes, if a man wants to save money, remain single. If a woman wants to save money, get into a relationship. Fellas, we spend the money because of the women. See, the same way women feel like we need the big house is the same way we us as men, like we like the cars. We like having our cars. We like having our TV with the surround sound. We like that comfort. We like, it's what we do. Fellas, I tell you this. I don't know. This what doesn't make any sense to me. Fellas, what's the purpose of spending all this money to get this big, nice house, nice place and all that to never enjoy it? But let's keep going. Blessings, Rasta, what up?
And by the time I reach my adolescence, now there is abortion. And I even remember I was sitting on the toilet when I heard on a talk show in the next room that my mother was listening to that now, Roe v. Wade has been passed. And I remember thinking, oh, good, I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
And we also had the pill. And so, this just it's brand new. And when something is brand new, people tend to react to it, overreact to it. It really completely liberated me and my friends as teenagers into basically having a lot of casual sex.
Whew.
And it even seemed that you were supposed to, like the arbiters of correct opinions were imposing this on us, because I remember asking myself, and I know other women have said the same.
Let me tell you what's happening. While she's talking, she's realizing that she ruined her life. I'm telling you what's happening. She's listening to her and she's looking at the older woman like, this is me. Fellas, women don't understand how detrimental it is to go from man to 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 man casually. It destroys them.
Why am I doing this? I don't really like it. It makes me feel bad. I'm also, regardless, sort of garnering a kind of a dubious reputation. But then I'm wired like that, and I can't seem to extricate myself from this habit. And, all of the advertising, much of what I was reading in teen magazines was sort of promoting this.
Hold on, y'all. I'm so sorry. I got an emergency. 1 second. Please stand by. Stand by. All right, y'all, I'm back. My apologies. I am back. Let's dive right into this, y'all.
You know, you don't have to live like your mother, and you can live like a man.
Of course, promiscuity became part of pop culture. Casual sex is now a status symbol. If you're not out here, liberated and running through situationships, apparently you're boring. Let's not forget, Cosmopolitan magazine led this movement hard, with Helen Gurley Brown waving the flag for Sex and the City long before HBO did. And guess what? Traditional women silenced, out of style, because apparently being grounded, loyal, and family-oriented doesn't sell magazines or get views.
Well, this is a fact, right? Because being a good woman, a wholesome woman, a homemaker, it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. Women love to see other women crash and burn. This is bad. But listen.
Hear me roar in numbers too big to ignore.
That song, that was the anthem. Hear me roar. Pop culture. This song used to drive women wild.
Yep.
I can do something that you
That's the
can't.
feminist
I can help
anthem
anyone,
right there.
regardless of their tech experience.
I
learn
am
cloud
woman,
engineering
hear
and
me
manage
roar.
high-
Crazy.
No one's ever gonna keep me down again.
I had 5 friends that I hung out with in high school. We called ourselves the Coyotes.
The Coyotes?
Pay
This
attention.
is pure gold.
And our motto was, we can do what men do and we can do it even better. And we would drive down the main street hooting and whistling at guys and, you know, drinking a lot and getting ourselves in all kinds of sexual trouble. And recently we, you know, a few of us got together and we were reflecting on that, and we realized that this was a very short window of time.
Did you listen, fellas? Did you hear what she... Fellas, are you listening to what she just said? She said, me and a few of the girls got together and we realized it was a very short window. Fellas, I'm gonna say this again. Listen to me. A woman's peak of hotness starts to dwindle down by the age of 26, 28. Listen, there are some women, ready? Look at Halle Berry. Look at not Halle Berry now, I'm saying look at Halle Berry. Like she kind of was able to hold on to her beauty for very long, right? Hear me out. Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. Fellas, hear me out. The older a woman gets, I don't care how much she wants to go to the gym. She could hit the gym as hard as she wants. When you touch her, she's still gonna feel soft. That's just naturally what happens, fellas. Listen to me. Touching a nice prime woman is a beautiful feeling. I want you to understand, it may look nice, but women even understand. Fellas, let's be real. We all thought Vivica was a smoke show. Vivica A. Fox. When she was younger, she was bad. No one's looking for her. Hear me. 50 got the last of her best, the last of the little bit of years that she had left. And I think at that time she was like 35, going like 35, 30, like she was around there. After 50, nobody's looking for Vivica. Fellas, I'm gonna say this again. Women have a very small window to get their life in order. It's a very small window. Now, unlike us as men, this is the reason why I tell you guys, fellas, if you know you don't want to have children, but you're with the woman who you know she wants to have kids, and you stay with her and you wasting. Hi, Papa. Good morning.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Papa? You okay? Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah? You still sleeping?
Huh?
You still sleeping? Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Say good morning, at least.
Hi.
Give me a besito. I love you. Mommy's over there in the living room. Okay? Go say good morning to mommy. Say good morning. Yeah, so women have a very short window, y'all, to get their life together. But us, as we have to build our life. Ready, fellas? I always and I like to share with you guys the candy story, the candy store theory. This is a really good theory. Some of you guys don't understand. So imagine this: there's a candy store, right? Now, to keep it PG-13, we're gonna keep it PG-13. But we know most young girls are sexually active by 15. Let's leave it there. But we know some girls get it going earlier, which is kind of crazy. But 15, 16, we know. But let's just keep it PG and go 18 years old. So from 18 until forever. Now you're 18, she's 18. Bang, the candy store opens, right? Listen to me. Candy store opens, but you're not allowed in the candy store. So you watch the women go into the store from 18 until they walk in the store. Women are like, ooh, Starburst. Let me get the Starburst. They open up the packs. They eat the red ones, the pink ones. They leave the yellow ones on the floor. Sometimes they leave the orange ones. They open the Skittles. Ugh, the green ones. They leave the green ones back in the pack. They eat all the red ones, and right. So they're eating all the candies, all the chips, the good stuff. And you outside like, what? Like, how can I get into the store? Well, for you to get into the store, see, for her to get into the store, she just has to be born. For you to get into the store, you gotta be a high earner. You gotta have some kind of physical appearance. You gotta have a network. You have to build yourself. So you have to pay the price to get into this store. Now, you watching all of these years of you developing yourself, becoming this man, becoming who you need to be, and now, bang, you 35, 40. Now the store is available to you. Bang, you open the store. Now you running in there, you eating the Twix. They don't like Twix, they don't like Twizzlers. You eating all the Twizzlers, you shoving them in your mouth. Or the M&Ms with the green shell, you eating them shit. You eating the peanut M&M. Ugh. You eating the peanut. You eating the fucking Jolly Ranchers. You just breaking. You eating the Slim Jims, and now the women are looking at you like, yo, relax. Just chill. Have one candy at a time. Just chill. See? Because they don't understand. They've been having access to all of life since 18 until you're 35, 40. So that's a decade, maybe a decade and a half more of them running through the stores, and then they leave the store, come back tomorrow, have another candy, they eating all these candies. So now when you get to go into the store, you going crazy. Now, it's the same theory for relationships. So now, when I keep telling you guys, when you're young, when you're 21, 25, unless you ran into some money or you're an athlete or whatever the case may be, you have to earn your way. Fellas, it's a skill. It's a developed skill. when a man can be with multiple women, when women love this man, when women want to be with a man because he developed himself to become the person that these women want, you had to develop that. You wasn't born with that. So what happens is this. So then you have women who are like, oh, he developed himself, he's the man now. You should be with me. No, the fuck I should not. Cause now I'm 40. You 40. I'm not gonna be, I'm going for the 20-year-old. I'm going, fellas. And then they want you to settle down. You should just settle down, have this one piece of candy, and just be happy with that. No, because these women got a chance to experiment with all of this candy. This is why they say, and this is why they like to label men that get the money later on. Oh, he's having a midlife crisis. It's not a midlife crisis. It's because now that we reached the point to do what we want to do, now we have access to all the women. But what happens is this, y'all. It's the prime flips. Now, her 40, no, her 21 and your 20. I always tell you guys, a woman's 21 and your 21 is different. Her value is up here, your value is down here. But now when you go 41, flip. You're up here and she's down here, and they feel it. This is what she's explaining to you. So her being promiscuous with her girls was a very small window that destroyed her for the rest of her life. Because now she's like, who is the good guys? Because now when she wanted to look for a good man, what happened was this. Fellas, when a woman goes from man to man to man to man, from dick to dick to dick to dick, and she's bouncing around, she builds an appetite. And now, when she can't fulfill it, it's a problem. Kevin Samuels said it best. When a chick meets a man and says, oh, he don't know how to lay pipe, how do you know? Maybe you just been fucked too much. Hold up. You see, nobody ever flips it like that. Or this guy don't know how to lay pipe. He don't know how to eat it right. Or maybe you just have too much experience. But nobody ever says that. You see? So fellas, there's a constant shame that they try to keep on men. But listen, she's gonna drop a bombshell, right? Pay attention right now.
Because AIDS comes along in 1983 and changes everything.
When I was born.
I would say that people born between, say, 1958 and 1965 are the people whose life story sort of goes alongside this change.
The Coyotes were riding the hot dog carousel like it was the Summer Olympics.
Right.
What were you doing, Grandma? Grandma was in the streets.
Yes, sir. And this is why I tell you guys, y'all think, can you see your grandmother and she just sits there and she's just so innocent? Some of your grandmothers were whores. And I'm going to say, most women who have grandmothers that were raised in that era, they were whores. But you sit here, not my grandmother. My grandma was innocent. She was pure. She was in Bible, reading the Bible. She was talking to Jesus. Yeah, okay. You got it. You got it.
All in the name of freedom. But freedom has consequences.
Yep.
And Darlene's about to explain why trying to have sex like men doesn't work. Not for women.
But, you know, in my generation, we were fumbling around, not knowing how to get what we deep inside really wanted. And the men were like, well, you know, now that I don't have to do this anymore, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm going to go back to suggesting that it was women who gave men permission to be irresponsible. And the lack of community oversight also lends itself to that. You are alone in the middle of nowhere and no one's really watching you. And I'm not going to say that that's great either, but if we have to decide what really is better for everyone, perhaps it would be more connection around community and not politics. That we are all families that live in this place, and we collectively want to create a really nice place for us to thrive in.
So now, in order to create a place that's really good for people to thrive in, guess what there has to be? Judgment. Fellas, I keep telling y'all guys, and for the one lady who's watching, hey, I always tell you guys, when I hear somebody say only God could judge me, that is a lie from the pit of hell. That is not biblical. The Bible says you can judge as long as it's a righteous judge. You can't be doing wrong and pass that judgment on somebody. You can't. I'll give you an example. Yo, my nigga. Yo, you gotta quit. That shit'll kill you, my boy. Oh no, I'm gonna do this. I'm saying you younger than me. It don't matter. It don't matter if you young or old. You can't have some. You can't pass judgment on something that you're also doing yourself. So you ready? You can't judge me because of my past. I can judge you because of your past. I can. Only God could judge me, but she ain't even. Listen, people love saying only God could judge me and not. Listen, these people will say only God could judge me and not be a person of God. Make it make sense. People who aren't people of God love to use God. They use God the most in everything. Well, you can't, only God could judge me. But then clearly you don't know because you didn't read. Because if you knew, you wouldn't say that dumb nonsense. But this lady is spilling the beans, y'all. But so she's like, yeah, like we got to get back to building communities, like where the men watched over the women. Yo, listen, nah, she's a good girl. You're not gonna, we didn't let the street hooligan niggas deal with the women that came from good families. No. She's a good woman. You ain't dealing with her, my boy. Like, that's over. But you heard what she said. Women gave up the right. Women gave men the green light to be irresponsible. Fellas, if women were not out here being 304s, then what? We would have to get our act together, right? Cool. But here's the problem. What's happening now, fellas, there's a movement where women are, like I showed you guys yesterday. I showed you guys on yesterday's live. Women are trying to rebrand themselves. Like, I'm born again. And I'm, fellas, you saw the video where the lady, she was on OnlyFans and she's not promoting it, but she's still running that business under the radar. So the next man that comes into her life, he wouldn't know she had an OF. But she's trying to rebrand, fellas. You not letting no woman rebrand herself. This is why yesterday Coach Greg said it. And I really want to say 25. Any woman after the age of 25, but Coach said 28. If you meet a woman and she's 28 and above, the person you met is not who she really was. Well, I'm older and I'm smarter and I'm more mature. Well, then that means the saying that I always say, women mature faster than men. That's out the window then. So that's one of the biggest cracks of shit we heard our whole life. Because if women develop faster than men, women are more mature faster than men, and women do all this faster than men. So how is it that now that you're 30, I'm more mature now? So when did the maturity ever happen, fellas? I keep telling you this, and several men have said this throughout the years. Women stop maturing once they know they have a vagina. once women understand that you want the vagina, they stop maturing. Cause now they understand, okay, well, not all. It becomes like a barter system, cause some chicks be out here just giving it out like hot pockets. They out here just throwing it away like turkeys on Thanksgiving. They just giving it out to the niggas in the hood. And those are the same women who come back later and be like, but I'm a woman of God now. God replenished me. Yes, he does. God does all of that. But listen, if you cannot deal with the ramifications of moving forward, what's the point? I always say it. That's how God works. I know people who found God in jail. Open up all the prison gates and let all of the homies out because they found God. And if, fellas, do you not see what I'm saying? It works. Women want it to work for the women. So then all the criminals who found God in jail, they in jail praising the Lord. My Heavenly Father, boom, 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 praise Jesus. Let those guys out. Why? Because they found the Lord. Right? No. That's not how society... But society wants to force you to forgive women for everything to them because the name of the Lord. This is why I say, don't play games with my God, man. Stop playing games with my God, man. We don't play like that. Stop playing with my God, man. Stop playing with me. If I meet you at 21, 22, 23, and I'm giving you the chance of a lifetime and you don't take it, that's your fault. You want to know why? Because I'm the one who's going to make your life better. It won't be the other way around. I promise you that. So let's keep on going. Keep listening, sir.
And in essence, that is the kind of place that I grew up in.
I got a Mixado knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. So I almost made the dumbest mistake.
Exactly. Why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free?
Right.
No strings attached. And on top of that, she got the nerve to bring an attitude too? This is why rules exist, why values matter. Because when women hand over the goods without requirements, men stop showing up for the relationship. Simple. Supply and demand, baby.
Fellas, if a woman gave, let's say, you gave a man a child, and he's lesser than the men that you're driving, fellas, this makes no sense. A chick will give her body, her womb, to a man that's not on another man's level, but then a woman wants access to that man, but then she'll make that man wait. No, I'm waiting till marriage, but you didn't do that with your kid's father. You didn't do that when you was in college getting ran through. So now that you met me, now you expect me, get the vete par carajo with that shit. Try to tell y'all, man. Y'all better grow some balls.
Its value. Women thought they could do whatever they wanted. Ride the hot dog carousel till their 30s and then magically cash in their body count for a husband. But that reset button, it doesn't exist. Now they're running to the femininity movement like a Black Friday sale at Zara, hoping to attract the same high-value men.
You see? Now this is what I've been warning you guys about. Because now you're going to see women are running there. That's why I'm so grateful my wife is feminine. I met her, she was feminine. She wasn't masculine. Now, she was raised to be independent. But you could tell, like, and I'm being transparent, my wife was like, she's at the fork of the road. She could have went either way, but she has her father. Her father been there, and one thing I will say is this: me coming into her life, she has exploded, bro. Feminine, soft. She talks to me nice. Her voice is very. She don't try to like muscle up on me. None of that shit. Now every now and again I may get carried away, and she'll be like, yo, I need to chill the fuck out every now and again. But what I'm saying is, now women are in a rush to be feminine. Now they want to rush to be like, let's put the flower dresses on. Cause now they want to clean their image up. We're not allowing it. Fellas, if they're not doing it at an early age, they're not doing it at a late age. Do not fall for this shit. Let's go.
They gave nothing to.
Many of the men in my community love their wives, couldn't live without them. And so when we talk about the leaving, I think actually the men really are wounded by this. And I fell into the manosphere for a while. And just like, you know, what Benjamin with all the detransitioners and the men whose wives just turned on a dime on them, you know, and then they end up having to pay child support. And that's another reason why, you know, men are hesitant to have children now and get married. This also happened to a relative of mine who got married, and after she had a baby, she said, she came from a wealthy family. She said, now that I have my baby, I don't need you anymore.
Yep.
He was absolutely devastated by this. So, you know, that's the other thing I would like to, a narrative got us here, let's say, and a narrative will get us out. I think men do love women.
Yep.
We have forgotten that. If I could quote one of my comments from my essay, one of the greatest...
Fellas, I always tell you, we are in love, women are in business. Y'all don't like that. We are in love. Fellas, only men can love unconditionally. Women do not love unconditionally. Fellas, listen to me. Men are built to love unconditionally. It's the way we're built. We can't get mad at that. But you heard what she said. Men, fellas, we love our women. We do. We definitely do.
The tragedies of the feminist project is denying how much men have loved and cherished women and their work. It's women who decided that our work was not valuable anymore. It's women who actually decided that being a mother was a form of drudgery. But, you know, any kind of hard work is a form of drudgery. I've been a professor for years, and nothing is more drudgery than grading essays, you know.
Fellas, are you listening? Fellas, are you listening to this woman? The problem is this. Women don't want to work for nothing. Like she said, anything a woman has to work for, oh, it's slavery. You want me to be a slave. You think that I'm a second-class citizen. No. Thing is this. Ready? When I wake up every single day, I automatically know I gotta protect my wife. Now, my wife is different, but most women don't understand. The Bible calls us to say, how can we serve each other? Hear me. If that doorbell rings, y'all guys see me on live stream. When that doorbell rings, she don't answer the door. She be like, Pa, come handle. Go, like, Nick, go do what you gotta do. Go. Bruh. But when women feel like they have to carry their water in any way, they're not with it. Fellas, let me show you what love is. Love is me doing anything for my wife. Love is sometimes having to do what you don't want to do to get the results that you need. Ready? Even let's say me. I'll take on another wife. That is me showing, me taking on another wife is me showing more love. That's me showing I can love that person versus her going out there being fucked by another dude who's gonna leave her in a little bit and now she's right back to square one again. You're not paying attention. Me telling a woman, yo, don't dress like that. That's me saying I love you, sister. Don't go out there and do that to yourself. You want to cover up. You want to look professional. You want to look like a woman. That's me saying I love you, sister. Women look at it like, you controlling, you insecure. That's little dick energy. This is how they shame you. So what happens is men just got to the point where they're like, "Oh well, fuck you then, fuck, go do your thing," and then later on they're like, "Do you still love me?" No, we can get it on, but we not. Yeah. There ain't no loving over here. There's no more loving over here for you. They do it to themselves.
I mean, I would much rather be washing dishes and, frankly, changing diapers.
Woof. She ain't got no grandkids. Oh man.
Change the world.
What a lonely person.
Join the team at Aerospace.
No grandkids.
And here it is.
You know what it is? That my grandmother and my grandfather passed away, right? But you know what it is? That my son, the way he is with his grandparents, like I try not to get emotional about it, because I don't have my side of my family. My grandmother passed. You know what I'm saying? My mom passed when I was a kid. So technically, like, I have my godparents, yeah, but my youngest doesn't have that grandmother, that grandpa. So even when my oldest son comes here and he sees my wife's parents, he's like, how mama, how papa, like, that's grandpa. Now, don't you dare call them grandma and grand. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You say mama, papa, but my son here, when he sees his grandparents, boy, he go crazy. My son go crazy. But what happens is you gotta see the transaction that happens between them. My son and his grandpa, he becomes the biggest child in the world when my son is around him. He becomes the biggest child. That's what grandkids do. They give you more life. But she has nothing. She's by herself, alone. That's tough.
The manosphere didn't just appear out of nowhere.
Right.
It's a reaction.
Yep.
Cause and effect.
Yep.
When men get demonized, disposable, and disrespected, guess what? They built their own space. It's not about women leaving men. It's what happens after. When men get divorce graved in court, lose access to their kids, get hit with false allegations, and have their reputations trashed for sport. And women, they move on with zero consequences.
I'm gonna do a live about this too. Are you guys? Have you guys seen the petitions going around now? Everywhere. Now you got guys going to yoga, guys going to sweat yoga, and guys being there, and women are like, we don't want men here in our space, but they invaded all of our spaces. Listen, did you guys know how many gyms went bankrupt because women are in the gym? They want to come in there with these tight ass spandex, bitch. Nobody's working out in them super tight ass spandex, and you don't gotta work out in the fucking halter top. Not even men do it now. Super diesel men, I understand why they do it. Why? Because they're activating. When you look at the muscle that you're working at, it's cool. But these chicks be out there naked. First of all, you in the gym with a whole face full of makeup. For what? That tells me you ain't serious about the gym. Because you shouldn't be in the gym with all this makeup on. Just saying. Unless you went straight from work, but even some of that, wipe some of it off and go get busy. But now you got women trying to petition, oh, we don't want men in our gyms. We don't want men in our spaces. Because now they want to revert back. It's too late. It's too late. Businesses have closed down because this was a man's space. But then when women are like, no, I ain't women, hear me roar, and they want to invade our space, but now they want their space back. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Can I tell you this? If we revert back, I guarantee you, women will lose all power. Women will lose all power, and they'll be able to do nothing about it. Trust me.
Modern women don't love men the way men love women. They love security, status, and options. And when the environment gives them that, they see no reason to settle for average, even if they themselves are average. And yes, most women are average.
Studies show 70% of women are just average women. But how are you an average chick but you want an above average man? It makes no fucking sense to me. You an average chick. I could see a million of you walking outside and you'll be like, no, my man gotta, like Lizzo. Lizzo, when she wanted to date Captain America, the guy, whatever his name is, that nigga was fucking, that nigga's a Chad. Like, I deserve a man who like Captain. You're Lizzo. If somebody pushes you down a mountain, you're gonna roll all the way down. There is no stopping you. There's no stopping you. But you want Captain America, chiseled, and come on, get out of here with this dumbass shit.
You know, if I define patriarchy and matriarchy, what we used to live in and what I would like to see us sort of navigate our way back to is we actually weren't in a patriarchy. There was a patriarchy and there was a matriarchy, and the women were matriarchally running this domain and the men were patriarchally running this other domain.
See, now women want to go back to being separate. Ready? I'll give you an example. The medical field is predominantly female dominated. Now it's like 50-50. Why? Because now when men are doing the jobs, you're pushing the women out. So now, see, you heard what she said. What I would like us to see us do is go back to when men dominated this field and women dominated this field, and that's because they wanted inclusion. You already fought for this. So, fellas, there is no going back. There is no going back. You fought for equality, deal with it. Straight up.
And the men returned home to the matriarchal domain, and they might have had some say.
You see?
And, you know, some say, and they might have made final decisions about some things, although I'm not sure, because when I look back anecdotally on what was going on in the houses in my neighborhood, the women were running the show.
Now, fellas, she just said it. She needs men to come back to the plantation. She needs men to buy the homes so the women could be in the homes and run the show in the house. I did not come from that world. I did not come from that world. Because how can she say women ran the house, the men had the final say? If I had the final say, you don't run shit. Use your brain. You have to understand that words mean something, people. Let's keep going.
And the men were doggedly going out to work and bringing home the paycheck. You know, I actually think in the so-called patriarchy, the men got the probably the raw end of the stick in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. You know, when my father was dying.
Did you hear what she just said? When it comes to men, we got the raw end of the stick. We got the dog end of the stick. We got the why? Because we will go out there and make the money. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't have no issue making. I'll make $1 bazillion, and I know if I give it to my wife, I don't want to see no bills. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to see no car notes. I don't want to see nothing. I want to go get in my car and go and drive. I don't want to see a bill. That's just me. Show me at the end of the month, this is what we spent. Good. All right. See you next month.
Cancer, he still had to go to work and support our family. And my mother was doing some work at home, but my father was the primary breadwinner all along, even when he was sick. And to see him, you know, after going through chemo, get up on a 20 degree below zero day and hack the car out of the snow and go to work, while my mother's sitting curled up in the warm living room reading a book. I mean,
But you ready? Listen, fellas, look what she says. She wants to go back to the day when the men went out there and brought home the money, the paycheck, whatever the case may be. She would like to see us go back to that. Guess what? The woman has no say. Fellas, she can't expect you to bring 100% and she bring nothing. She has no say. But then they'll sit there and be like, but I'm woman, hear me roar. Bullshit. Fellas, let this be a warning. Women are, even the promiscuous ones, women are trying to revert back to being feminine. Fellas, I keep telling you, a woman after the age of 28, I really want to say 25. After the age of 28, but I'm really saying 25, who she is a lie. From that point on. So I'll say this again. If she doesn't come like so, she don't get to remain like so. Fellas, it's a hard pill to swallow, but she just admitted to you the raw truth. The raw truth. Whether you like it or not. But y'all already know what time it is, man. I told you I ain't taking up much of your time today. I appreciate everybody tuned in. Y'all already know what time it is. True Hall of Fame. Hear Me Out podcast. This segment of Man Talk was amazing. For those on the playback, hit the like button too. Y'all already know. I'll see you on the next one. Ya tu sabe. 1.